My husband and I drove over this railroad track and we saw this thing, dilapidated, falling down, nobody's taking care of it.
I had been inside for a long time, and I often wondered.
It's more to me than just the old building. It's a place where my livelihood, where I worked, and I met many, many people there.
It's changed so much since I was working there.
I felt it was a very important building, but it was still decaying, and I don't think the people realized how important it was. We tend to forget what happens in the past, and we tend to tear everything down.
So I grew up along this railroad track, playing, putting pennies on the rails and all of that.
Here's this building that I looked back years ago, and then I get a call from Carrie Welliver, who's the real person in charge of all this and got it started, and she asked me one day, would you like to do this project? And of course I just hollered really loud, you just have no idea.
That was the way that people got from community to community or town to town. So it's a very, very important part of the history of this nation, and certainly Orange played a big part.
It's one of those elements that's still existing that was universal in its sense of inclusion.
I started in 1946 when I came to Orange, and I worked at selling tickets until 1975.
When you're a station porter, you help the people get the baggage out of their car. You unload the mail, and you load the baggage. You've done everything around it. Really, that's why I know so much about that old train station, because I had to do everything except sell tickets.
At the time that I came here, the Navy base was still here. We had a lot of sailors.
You see, because the war was going on.
Soldiers coming home and bodies arriving and being removed from caskets from the rail cars.
Someone had to be escorting it all the way. And the baggage person on the train had to take care of it and transfer it to us when they'd get to the station, and we'd have a porter to help take it off.
Sometimes we bring bodies in. That's kind of the sad part of that. You know, expecting the family waiting till their loved ones come in. Every once in a while we'd have a veteran, but the majority of somebody just shipping people's body back home. Well, you unloaded that.
I just feel like that they're going to fix it up again, and then it'll change. So I try not to look at it the way it is now.
You meet people from everywhere. And the majority of the people you meet, all good people. They had separated, okay, that end of the building, that was for whites. This end of the building was so they say colored back then.
They just had a separate waiting room for each one and separate restrooms for each one. Then in about 1958, I think they changed that. And at the time then, they all blended together in one waiting room.
I just come out the Army. I had my Army jacket on, I had my little old stripes and overseas bars and everything on. So these two Marines came up to me, and for no reason at all, he hit me. But when he hit me, it drove me back into the building, you know, because it was unexpected.
And I worked close to them, and I liked them all. And I treated them just like anyone else.
I don't want my race to have nothing to do with it, or the color I am to have nothing to do with it. I'm a person.
And Mrs. Stark used to come by and buy tickets for her friends going back to California. So I just closed my office and go outside and talk to her, and she just always saying that this building should always be the gateway to Texas and must always be here.
People were concerned, could we really do it? And it wasn't until I think people began to see what the building would look like. And when the first images came out, we did digital rendering of the building to show what it would look like as a finished product, and that began to create a stir. The building really looked like that. We could really make it look like that.
I still see some people around town here that rode the train regular. Hello, Miss Southern Pacific.
That's going to be something. This depot is going to really be nice. And I'm glad to see them doing something with it, because I used to look at it all the time.
So it's going to really attract people in to Orange, which will do nothing but better the economy for Orange.
It would be really nice to see it completed and see what the accomplishments of all the plans that they've worked for and how it's going to be. I know it's going to be nice, and I feel like it's going to carry on.